Welcome to the Catch Up with Claire. I'm your host, Claire Hoon, and this is my very first podcast episode. I can't believe I'm saying that. You know that moment when your intuition just won't shut up? That's kind of how this podcast was born. Let me back it up for you. So, I had a baby about 6 months ago, and really going into that whole pregnancy and postpartum, I just started feeling I had more to give. I have more things that I want to communicate, things I want to start trying and doing more of. And I had no idea what that meant. Fast forward to I was on maternity leave this summer, conversation with my husband and I, where I said, you know what, I'm going to start a new Instagram page. NYC Fam 5, if you aren't following us, to show our life in New York City. A lot of what was being fed to me and a lot of what I was consuming on social media while I was spending endless hours pumping and breastfeeding and being at home with a baby was not for me. I wanted to showcase more of our daily life in New York City and what it was like to be a mom of three for the first time. The differences that I felt being a new mom on my third round versus a new mom on my first and second round. It's been a very different experience for me. And that kind of curtailed to one day my husband saying, I think you should start a podcast. And I looked at him like he had 17 heads and said, absolutely not. I don't know anything about podcasts other than how to open Spotify and listen to them. And I have nothing to say. And he just kind of looked at me and then it clicked. It took like 3 seconds. I was like, oh no, I do have a lot to say. And I know you do too. So that's where I'm going with all of this. The catch up with Claire is not about Claire. Sure, I'll have stories, I have things to say, but really it's catching up with all of you, with friends, with family, with people I've encountered in my life and people I hope to meet. And hopefully those people are all of you listening to this right now. Something I've really craved in my motherhood journey is connection. And I really struggled as a first time new mom and even a first time pregnant person 7 years ago is not having a sense of connection, feeling understood, feeling like I had places to talk about what I was going through, what I was experiencing, both the good and the bad, the hard times, the funny times, these little things that happen to me on a daily basis, the experience of being pregnant, the experience of having a new baby, going through birth, the positives, the negatives, all the experiences that are wrapped into that. And I really didn't know where to find that. It has taken me 7 years to realize that that's connection I need to create and I need to foster and I need to seek it out and I need to nurture it. So that's what the catch up with Claire is all about. But it's not just me connecting with all of you, it's me trying to connect all of us together because the stories that I want to tell here and the people I want to catch up with have stories to tell. All of us do. I think there are a lot of different experiences of womanhood in 2025, and that can look like many different things. It can look like new motherhood. It can look like career driven. It can look like chasing big dreams. It could look like heartbreak. It could look like playing the dating game. There's so many different experiences of womanhood that we are all going through right now. And maybe we won't be living each experience, but I think we're all talking about it, and I think it connects us all. And I want to hear about all of it. I want to catch up about all of it. I want to talk to the mom who has a side hustle. I want to talk to the single girls who are dating in the city. I want to talk to women who are still being motivated by the career ladder and what motivated them back then versus where are they getting their motivation from now. I want to talk to the moms, the seasoned moms, the new moms, the wannabe moms. I think there's space for all of us here and all of our experiences. And that's what I want to catch up about. And I hope that's what you want to hear about. If it's not, tell me in the comments. Okay, now I have to be very honest. I recorded this intro episode 16 times. 16 times I sat here reading my little script, talking to my iPad, trying to explain to you and help you understand what it is that I want to catch up with Claire to feel like, to be like, and to grow into. And you heard me, read a little script. So as soon as this idea started coming into fruition, the ideas were just endless. I started talking to people in my life about what I wanted this to be, shaping it. It started off as in my head, give a mom a mic. It felt very catchy. It felt very, yes, girl energy, if you will. But it didn't feel like everything. When it was singularly focused on motherhood and the experience of being a mom and give a mom a mic, it felt exclusionary. So many people that I care about in my life and have incredible stories to tell and are doing amazing things are child free and don't have and aren't living that experience. And there's space for them here. And there's so much that I want to learn from them and their experience without kids. So I started to have conversations. I started to shape what I really wanted this to look like and feel like for everybody. And I started writing all of that out. Writing for me has always been very cathartic and helps me find the meaning of what I'm really looking to convey and communicate. And so I wrote out my intro script and I rewrote it and I rewrote it and I rewrote it again for about a month. I edited it. I pined on every word. I wanted it to be specific. I wanted it to be impactful. I wanted the words to really matter. And finally, a couple weeks ago, I had this moment of I could stare at this forever, but if I don't just record it, it's never going to get done because it's never going to feel perfect, but I want it to feel right. And so I said I finalized my script. I read it, it communicated what I wanted this to look and feel like. And so I started recording and again and again and 16 times over 2 days because I decided the first day I did it, I was just not in the right headspace. It was the mood. I needed a fresh take. So I tried again the next day. And it just wasn't it. It wasn't being conveyed the way I wanted it to. And it's not because the words aren't perfect. I've reread them. They're pretty dang good. And I'm still proud of the words I put down on paper on Google Doc. What happened as I started talking to my first few guests and describing what the podcast was meant to be, it's raw, it's vulnerable, it's authentic, it's bringing your true self. There's no prep needed because we're just having a conversation. Oh, wait, here I was trying to write the perfect script, read the perfect script, time out the perfect script so that it sounded perfect, not being raw and vulnerable and authentic in the moment. And even though the words do convey that message, me reading it wasn't the point of why I'm doing any of this. So I hope you'll bear with me here as this is my first solo podcast episode trying to describe to you what I hope the Catch Up with Claire looks like going forward. I want the Catch Up with Claire to be a space where you can come tell your story. Everyone has a story. I have a story. I know you have a story. And many of us have many stories to tell, but not the platform to tell them on. I want to talk about the things that shape us: career, identity shifts, family, motherhood, ambition. But I want it to feel sort of nostalgic, like you're picking up the landline in 1999, calling your bestie after school. On top of all the big things I just listed, there's a lot going on in our world, in our country, in our own backyards. How are we balancing it? It's a lot. The reason a podcast felt like the right format for me is it goes back to this connection that I've been craving. Instagram, TikTok, I don't really even use TikTok. Social media is such a passive place. I can make a reel, I can put up some stories, I get comments on the reels and DMs in my message box that I'll reply to, but it's more or less a passive interaction. It's not a dialogue. It's not really a conversation. It sparks conversation, I hope. I hope it at least helps you feel seen. I hope it feels relatable. I hope it feels authentic, because that's what I try to show. But there really isn't much of an invitation for further conversation and dialogue. And that's what I'm craving. And I hope that's what you're looking for. So, what is this podcast all about? Less curation and more conversation about the experience of womanhood. All right. So, what is this going to look like? This is me stumbling through my first solo episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. What I really want to say is a big, big thank you to the women who have trusted me, who have opened up to me, who have shared their stories when this was in proof of concept phase. I have recorded a mini series that I am going to be releasing weekly up until Thanksgiving. I'm going to then take a break during the holiday period of Thanksgiving until New Year's so that I can come back in January with a full roster of incredible women stories and conversations to share with you. So many women have already agreed to come on, and I am so excited about those conversations. I'm really excited to share them with you. And if you want to be on and you want to catch up, please reach out. I would love to catch up with you. I really want to say thank you to the women who've trusted me to have these conversations and be on my podcast before I've ever aired a single episode. It really means a lot that you've trusted me in this way, and I'm excited to share your stories the next couple of weeks. It would mean so much to me if you would engage with this podcast, subscribing, following along wherever you listen to your podcast, commenting, sharing it with someone who you also think might enjoy it. That's really how I can continue to grow this audience and hopefully make these higher quality for you. I'm doing my best here. I'm just a girl. I'm just a mom recording on my iPad with my earphones. Downloading an episode, sharing an episode, commenting or rating on an episode really goes a long way for new podcasts like this one. This show really means a lot to me. I've worked hard on it for several months now, and I'm excited that it's finally coming to fruition, that I finally am able to share it with you. And I really hope you're excited about it. Okay, so I stumbled through not reading a script. It felt a little awkward. I'm going to get better at this, I promise. Talking to a guest is so much easier. So that's today's Catch Up with Claire. Until next time, be kind, be brave, and be safe out there.